divine rapiers.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just man fighting the entire team, having nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, it really just seems now like the Mongols, if they want to take an engagement and take a fight, you need to silence Kipo before he can get a Song of the Siren off. And you can't, as a gyro, you basically need to wait for that Song of the Siren to work, so it's just a little bit of back and forth between Paxa and Kipo going to be going on for, I feel like, the rest of this game. And I suppose if Masquerade can get a nice stun on Kipo and they can focus him down a little bit, and do it that way, they really need to target him first. I know that TA throws out some crazy deeps. Invoker, obviously, a horrible nuisance to have in any team fight, but really, that Song of the Siren is going to make or break the gyro in every single fight, and for how much damage he can actually do to everyone else, I think it's probably worth just using those ults on that hero.
Yeah, Gyrocopter. He needs to get tankier. There's no other ways around it. Or he just needs to be smart and use his BKB, let's say, directly after Song of the Siren, and making sure his team doesn't get engaged upon. It's hard to say who should be initiating on who. They both have comeback mechanics. Beastmaster with the Roar, Puck with his entire combo, Dream Coil, Illusory Orb, Waning Rift, Nyx Assassin, Bane Elemental. Everyone can make very high impact in this game on both teams. So it really comes down to the execution and the positioning of players.
Oh yeah, just who's going to outplay each other. This is one of those drafts where, like you were saying, either side can take it. Either side can do amazing things with proper play, and I think that's just a really nice thing I have to say to have in a finals game as well. Is that it's just, it's all about who's playing better. And now Sonke, he's actually spent all his money. There's no buyback, obviously, for him anymore. Has picked up a Scythe. And with that, I mean, you get the Blink in. Maybe you don't land the Waning Rift onto the Kipo. Maybe you don't land a Coil on him either. But you should be able to pig that man right away. And now this is a difficult position to be in. Throws out the Tornado, but hasn't quite yet popped Song of the Siren. And Gyrocopter needs to be aware of that Storm, though. Not too sure what he is doing. Actually, Deafening Blast can't do too much. Sonke way too far forward. Not too sure what he's doing. Already getting picked off, so that's 2 for nothing. And now they need to realize that they can't continue fighting this. Masquerade in a heap of trouble. Paxa getting caught out finally, but now will be falling. Can't do too much. Masquerade trying very hard to save him. Nelly cannot save his buddy Masquerade. And now a pretty bad Roche attempt coming out of the Mongols. And who has buyback? I can tell you that Puck does not. And actually nobody on the Mongols has it. So this is going to be a free Roche for the Panthers. And not only that, I mean, with 60 seconds still down on pretty much, I should say 50 seconds on the 3 core heroes, this is going to be a lane of racks too.
Oh, it might just be more than a lane of racks. Even Nagasiren, wow, look at Nagasiren's items, man. That's no longer just a pure support. You know, Nagasiren with Mech and Diffusal Blade, and you can look at him. He will be able to solo kill Nelly if he has those illusions.
Oh yeah, Storm gets in here trying to see what he can do, and they actually haven't quite taken this this tower yet. Not too sure why they're spending pretty much any time on Nelly. He is getting a Fiend's Grip down. He's obviously going to sacrifice himself here. An EMP being used, but of course that won't be up once the big heroes come down. Storm is trying to see whatever he can do. He's got a Blink. He might be able to get a stun on a few and delay this, and that's indeed what he does. Only gets TJ, however. Can't get any more, and it looks like one lane of racks is down, but not too much more coming out of this push, so not the end of the world by any means, but Mongols now, they have a pretty steep hill to climb.
Oh, I mean, Panthers, they can always double back, grab a smoke right back into the base, and get additional pickoffs. If they can pick off 2 heroes, that would be game. But they want to play it safe, just retreat out, knowing that they have essentially 4 carry heroes. I mean, Invoker dealing tons of damage with his Sheep, Orchid, TA, always a hard hitter in most of the games. Mirana has decent items as well, and then now Nagasiren, he's starting to get tanky as well.
Oh yeah, and Mirana now just finishing off that MKB, gonna be making Gyro's life just that much harder. He's not even that tanky when it comes right down to it, and having now an MKB also on this TA, she is doing an obscene amount of damage, plus 217, 300 damage a hit, not even including refraction, does about 400 damage a hit, can crit, always guaranteed to hit. It just doesn't look like Gyro will be able to keep up against that, and I mean, Mongols, they're going to need to pull out some amazing team fight combos and pretty much catch the Panthers without any pants on.
Oh, they need nice one there. Well, they need so much items. They need like 6 slotted Beastmaster. They need say refresher on Beastmaster, refresher on Puck, even a sheepstick on Beastmaster. Then they have a good shot. But in terms of Paksa, he's just in so much trouble. This Naga Siren has completely neutered what he can do in team fights. Every time he does a BKB, he's just like he has to do a 1v5. So he's so far behind in terms of items though. He needs a Satanic, Divine Rapier, and I don't know if one Divine's enough. Assault Koreas, I don't know. You never get Assault on Gyro, but I mean, if you have to fight 1 against 5, then those armors really count for something as well. Unless you can burst them down so quick. Yeah, forget about the Assault Koreas. Just go for double Divine Rapiers, if at all possible.
Right? That's your only hope.
This has to be it. He has to go for this big Divine Rapiers.
I mean, there still is that chance. Obviously, he is getting a little bit of space to farm, and he does actually have some nice warding here. But I mean, this Paxa, for how far down he is and how little vision they actually really do have. They have a ward here. They have a ward here. One smoke, and they could probably take him out. And then, I mean, he does have just enough for buyback. But still, though, you're putting him even farther behind, and it is just getting more and more scary. And it looks like that's exactly what Panthers are trying to set up. But instead, they're actually going to go into the mid, and like you said, maybe find a couple pickoffs. It looks like Mongolz, though, knows it, and they are literally just standing still. None of them moving at all, and just waiting now.
Well, that's a good move as well. When you see all 5 heroes missing on the enemy map, and the creep wave, well, it's not really being pushed out or anything, but you have to see something coming when you don't see a single hero on the lanes. And at this rate, TA, if he gets lucky, he can potentially kill the Gyrocopter in 2 hits. If he gets 2 crit in a row. As unlikely as that seems, well, I mean, Dota 2 RNG, you should never trust it.
Oh yeah, no, now obviously revealed from that smoke, not the end of the world by any means, continuing this push up top, seeing what they can do. Arrow flies. Paxa just barely getting out of the way, but doing none too bad. And once again, I mean, they can do the slowest siege in the world if they really want to, and just force out that BKB from Gyro, pop the Naga Siren ult, and then go in from there. But because they really don't need to do too much, and I mean, for 2 Necros on Mongol's lineup, you'd expect them to be doing some pushes. Nice blink in by Storm, stun on 2, and now a nice big ult onto Kriz. They can't quite finish him off, however, and it looks like they're really trying very hard. Both Necros being popped, and now no Gyro anywhere nearby. He's actually way down bot. Now actually TPing in. Has his BKB still up and running if he wants to. Now finally uses it, but TA, how much damage are you doing, TJ? No crit quite yet. And now this Gyro still doing a huge amount of work. Masquerade is here, does not quite have another ult available. One big hit onto Paxa, not quite finishing him off at the moment. Now it looks like Storm blinking and seeing whatever he can possibly do. Beastmaster, though, chasing down this Crystal Maiden, doing pretty nice for himself. And actually, it looks like Mongolz have defended this nicely. Now Masquerade, all he needs to do is hide in the trees, see if he can't make anything happen. Gets a nice blink out once again. Kipo in a heap of trouble. Storm finishing him off. Can TJ kill too? Not if he gets stunned like that, he can't. And now TJ in a bit of trouble. Wants to take at least one with him. No crits. Finally, one crit going his way. They do have the Aegis pop now. And now Paxa, he wants to make something happen, but he needs to be very careful here. One stun coming down from Storm, and TJ gonna melt immediately. And just some nice, beautiful defense coming out of the Mongolz there. And with that, that gold graph by Panthers up to about 7,500 in favor of them. Experience maybe only 4,000, and it looks like it's going to equalize the experience, I would say. Gotta wait a little while longer for this gold graph, but I wouldn't be surprised if it got it down to maybe 3, even 2,000.
Oh wow, I'm glad Paxa came in the time he did. He didn't get caught in the Naga Siren song right away. And that was just some brilliant defense. Just when I thought it might just be over. But a little too rushed by Panthers. If they had a little bit more patience, waited for the mid creep waves to push in, because they do have the superior creeps down at mid, and then push at the same time, forcing them to split into 2, then that would have been a lot easier. And that's more of a Chinese type of play. A little bit more patient, calculated, but nonetheless, it was very unfortunate and very fortunate for Mongols that they held off the defense. And now that they have more time and the gyrocopter didn't die, he's up to 4.7k gold.
Oh, he's getting close, man. He's getting real close.
Yeah,
and
gyro.
He's got to be going divine. He has to go divine right now.
We can go satanic as well. If you can sustain through that initial sleep, this is one of those moments where you kind of wish you can just turn off a BKB. So 4-second BKB, not so bad. Sure, there's a lot of magical damage coming out, but I don't know. They need him to do the damage, but he also need to be able to survive. Bit of a dilemma. He needs both. And this arrow, oh, barely misses Storm. And it does seem like he's gonna be going for satanic.
Man!
Yeah, that's a full satanic. No, but don't worry. If they keep holding it off, the next item is already guaranteed to be a divine rapier. There's no other ways around it. Once you see that satanic being picked up, you're like, alright, you know what Gyro wants, and you know what he's gonna get. And there's no stopping him.
Ooh, a smoke now being used, but I mean, they gotta know this as well. There's no way they're just hiding slightly in base. And not only that, you see this Roche coming in, and if they're at all paying attention, they're gonna notice this Roche is flying, going into the jungle, so all they need to do is avoid the jungle, and Mirana knows it as well. Everybody pinging, and is just running home, and throws out an arrow, sees if they really can't catch somebody out, and they actually does land on Paxa, so they know exactly what's happening now as well.
Oh, so I mean, it's a premature smoke, to be honest. They needed to push out the mid lane before going for smoke like that. It's simply too obvious. When the mega creep, well, not really the mega creep, but the bigger creeps, well, it is mega creep. So the mega, whatever. But when those superior creeps are pushing into a tower, and there's no one defending, there's no other ways around it. It's a smoke gank.
Oh yeah, and I mean this late into the game when it's literally 5-man on 5-man, these smoke ganks just seem to become so predictable when you just don't see anybody around for a very long time. Arrow flies, doesn't land obviously, and it just seems like they just become so predictable for each side. Maybe a little bit less so obviously for the Panthers, considering they have far greater map control at the moment, but I mean, nonetheless, last time we saw them have one, the Mongols knew it was coming a mile away.
Oh yeah, Gyrocopter though, with every passing minute, he's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. If they can secure the next Roche, and he has enough money to buy a Divine afterwards, that would be the perfect scenario. And it's like
Arrow
the biggest
flies,
hope they
lands
have.
onto Storm. No follow-up, however, doesn't really matter. But yeah, little 345 chunk of his HP gone. Nagasiren has picked up a Heaven's Halberd for her troubles now. Not too bad by any means, and she's actually quite difficult to kill. Lots of armor, 17 plus 5, and now they know the Roche is up. They know that this Roche is definitely warded, or at the very least trapped. And I mean, now just throwing down wayward arrows to see if she can't catch anybody out, and I mean, she's actually catching quite a few people with them.
Oh yeah, this Nagasiren's fat as well. Heaven's Halberd. Oh dear. So once you have the Divine Rapier, right? You need that new BKB. Because there's so much dilemma in this game for the Gyrocopter. If he doesn't get the 10-second BKB, a fresh BKB, then he's gonna eat Heaven's Halberd from the Nagasiren. But if he does get the new BKB, Nagasiren will just sleep. It seems like Nagasiren is the trouble. It's just so much trouble for this Gyrocopter.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show you how strong of a hero Nagasiren really is, and she hasn't really transitioned to a semi-carry quite yet. Obviously has a defusal, which is just overall helpful for her in every which way, but I mean, she's still doing exactly what a Nagasiren should do, and actually playing as a support. She's still pushing out and pushing in, I should say, every single lane to make sure that Mongols never feel safe, that they might need to split up to try and stop these things, and that they can never really be a full 5-man gank squad or anything along those lines. Masquerade is also incredibly rich. Golly.
You know what they need to do?
What's
the
that?
Mongols? They don't need to smoke up. What they need to do is buy 5-man boots of travels and use the Hawk to scout out somebody, like maybe 2 or 3 heroes. 5-man boots of travels in with the Beastmaster leading the charge or the puck, and that can be pretty game breaking. And it is pretty next level as well. Well, If they can actually think of it right now, like Boots of Travels, 5-man, let's do it. But Bane obviously won't have that money anytime soon. Nyx, he doesn't. Well, you can always disassemble the arcane boots and sell the energy booster. Still gonna be about 200 gold away if he does that. And Gyrocopter still saving up that money for that Divine Rapier. But if this game goes on for another 30 minutes or so,
Oh
5-man
god.
Boots of Travels, come on, like it's so next level. We have to see it, you know. 5-man Boots of Travels. You see, like the Invoker, right? He might be farming ancients. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have a good time, just killing this Mud Golem or like ancient Granite Golem, whatever. And then suddenly, boom, you have 5 people next to you, and you're surrounded, and you can't even move because they use the M key, and then they like surround you. And then you're like, yeah, I give up.
Yeah, they use
Throw
the M
keyboard.
key. They make sure you can't move. They just trap you with a cage of bodies.
Yeah, I mean, they have so many units, right? I mean, there's 2 Necro 3s, a bunch of 4-stab Blink Daggers and whatnot. So, yeah, why not? Why not?
I
don't
have
see
to
why
admit,
not.
we've mentioned about how Mongols can kind of take back this game, push against the Panthers, see what they can actually do. But we haven't talked too much about what the Panthers can really do to win it that much. I mean, obviously they can go in and push and force things out, find ganks and a pick off and go from there. But I mean, what do you think the Panthers can really do here? I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen more Necro books coming out of them, considering that Gyrocopter, I mean, if he eats a few Necro books, like giant 600 damage hits, that's a pretty big chunk of his life gone.
Well, do you want the ultimate cheese strat? So what they do is 5-man push, right? Boom. As soon as they reach around this area, and then Naga, because the creeps are in the base, right? Naga sleep, and then Naga stays right here, and then the rest of them rush at the tier 4, take him out, TP out. And the next time they do that, it'll be like end game. No joke, no joke. This is actually so cheesy, but it's what people do.
Well,
when
it's kind of what
behind this
Nagasiren's doing
Naga,
right now.
sleep.
Using the sleep to guarantee the Roche, very similar to that, and now the Roche will indeed fall. Masquerade does get there just in time, but can't do too much, doesn't find the Aegis, and now with that death, he obviously has buyback, one of the richest Beastmasters I've ever seen. Paxa, though, right into the thick of things. It looks like this double damage isn't going to be doing too much for them. Nelly trying his very best, but pops his BKB to make sure he survives through that Crystal Maiden ult as well, and they just leave Kipo to his devices. They don't actually find anything. They get they get a gem, but Kipo now just gets a free TP away. Not too sure about that.
Well, so that was a 1-for-1, and they still want to chase down this this Mirana, but it's gonna be a little difficult. Yep, they both TP out to safety. But as I was saying, Panthers, they have so many options. They can push this 5. The best way is to push top. That way, first of all, you shut down the jungle. Mongols can never go in the jungle.
Oh, Masquerade in the mid, getting caught out, but he is just so tanky. He doesn't even really care there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Oh, but now he
no.
does. Oh, arrow flies, though, does indeed miss. Blinks out of it just in time. No way to follow it up. Has been purged, however, so moving incredibly slow. But now it looks like they turned this gank on their head. Chris still alive. Not quite, though. The Aegis finally does pop. It looks like Senior Hyder, though, running for his very life. Sonke eats a tornado, needs to get out of here. Does just phase shift. Should be able to blink out of this one scot-free. And now Call Down coming out. Paxa trying his very best to do what damage he can. And now it looks like we have Shiny doing not too badly against that Bane. However, you have Paxa, though, getting caught out. That's a lot of mana being burnt of his. He's actually having a very difficult time just taking down Kipo. Sonke, though, caught out once again. Storm in the back, doing whatever he can against the Invoker. We do indeed have some people buying back now. And Chris now trying to see if he can't find a Storm. Looks like no arrows being used. However, Paxa right in the thick of things once again. Has he just fallen before? And it looks like he did indeed. Does have buyback, so not the end of the world by any means, but still dying, maybe unnecessarily there. It looks like Masquerade and him thinking they can take on the world. So this is going to be a forced buyback out of the Gyro, possibly and most likely the Puck as well, and maybe even the Nyx Assassin if he wants to once he dies.
Oh god. Dude, did you see that Gyrocopter trying to kill the Nagasara and just couldn't do any damage?
Yep.
Oh, this Naga this is trouble when your carry Gyrocopter can't kill the support Naga Siren.
Oh, Kipo, though, not the best use of Song of the Siren now. Needs to try and get out of here. Does indeed, and it doesn't look like Mongols really has the ability to chase down any of these heroes. They're all just moving too fast. TA 468, I believe, move speed. Invoker running around like a madman at 514. And, I mean, they just can't find any kills now. They do know that Naga Siren ult is down for another 30 or so seconds. But, I mean, that is not really enough time to push down and get a lane of racks, I feel.
Oh dear. Gyrocopter moving so far away from that Divine Rapier once again because he was forced to buy back. This is not the time they should be pushing. But oh wow, if you look at the scoreboard, the kills are just so close. The XP is dead even. But gold, it's, well, 12,000 gold at 55 minutes. Is it really that big? 2,000 gold for each hero?
Experience,
The only thing that matters, is getting Paxa, the big items. If you can get the double divine, then I would say, ooh, Phanters are looking a bit shaky, but right now they're still pretty safe. And once again, they're gonna go for the 5-man smoke gank.
I mean, they know that it's there, though. They pinged it out, it looks like, for sure. Maybe not. That was actually the Panthers pinging, so I'm wrong there. Now, it looks like Mongols need to be very careful here. Nelly throws down a sentry. Not the best thing you could do. Storm has been found. Is he going to BKB out of this? It's 4 staffs, but doesn't matter. Gets turned into a piggy, is caught out. Looks like we have a coil on 2, but that is not the end of the world. Kipo almost using that Song of the Siren, finally does use it, and so they can focus down Paxa, but of course that BKB does not last that long anymore. TJ melts immediately, and it looks like Mongols coming out way ahead in this engagement. However, you do lose a Gyrocopter, but you take 4 of them, maybe even a 5. Chris running for his life. It looks like Sonke really on top of him, seeing if he can't finally get him. Is there a TP on Chris? There is indeed, but the stun now. He is dead. Guaranteed to be. Who has buyback on the Radiant? Quite a few. Marana, TA, and the Naga Siren, so this is not a definite guaranteed racks by any means, but Beastmaster definitely going to be pushing on the tier 3 door on this top lane, with the rest of them pushing down this mid, trying to get that racks and equalize things up a little bit.
Oh wow. Mongols, the defensive plays have been absolutely outstanding. Okay, so they are starting to force the buybacks. That's a good thing. But the biggest problem is the Gyrocopter has been dying over and over again. And they need an answer to that. They need to be able to find a way to keep that Gyrocopter alive. I don't know. Every fight he just gets shut down, but his teammates are really playing just... I have no words for it.
Well,
you look at the lineups and you just feel like Panthers, the heroes, late game, the damage they do is just overwhelming. But because of the couple of ultis that go through BKB, as well as like the positioning of each hero and that sheepstick, they've continued to hold on. I think holding on is the wrong word. It feels like they've continued to swing the balance of the game. It's going in the ways of Mongols 1 minute, and it's going in the ways of Panthers, and it's so hard to say who's gonna win this game. I mean, look at the kills, the scoreboard, and even till now, like 1 hour into the game, and it's still pretty close. Only 3 kills difference between the two teams.
Oh yeah, I mean, not bad at all. And like you said, the gold graph, obviously, 8,000 gold at an hour in, not telling at all. But I mean, the experience, it was almost at 0 about 4 minutes ago, and now it's only about 4,000 in favor of the Mongols. That is really a clear indication of just how incredibly close this game is right now. Paxa now farming up this bot lane nicely for himself, but I mean, he's level 25. Who isn't level 25? Puck just hits it. I suppose the supports won't be.
Oh yeah, and Gyrocopter has finally caught up in terms of net worth. Currently sitting in 3rd place. TA just leading by about 500. So, oh man, this game is just so close. Everyone, like, they're trying their best to win, but Panthers just can't push Mongols over the edge, and at the same time, Mongols, every time they bounce back, they just don't have what it takes to push all the way into the enemy base.
Oh yeah, this is just such a difficult place to be in.
But now, the key changing thing will be that Divine Rapier and the Gyrocopter, if he can pick up the Aegis. If he gets these two, wow, they're good to go. Especially if, say, the Beastmaster can hold on to the cheese, and should Gyro expend the Aegis, then he can pass him through the cheese, giving him potentially 3 lives. And Paxa, with that, like, late game Gyro, you know how absurdly this hero farms. He already has 411 last hits, not the highest ever, but he has struggled very hard throughout the game, and he's done a good job of just trying to keep up. But
I have to say,
it's
too,
just so mind-boggling.
I'm really enjoying the item choices coming out of, say, Storm. Yeah, Storm, the Nyx Assassin. He is going full-blown trying to take somebody out of a fight. He says, you know what? He says, you know what? I don't want to deal with Naga Siren ult. He throws down the scepter on her and makes sure that she's just spinning and spinning for a little while there. He can just take a few people out, and with the amount of CC that's available now for the Mongols, I mean, I think that's what's really putting them over the edge in these fights. If Nelly throws down a sleep on somebody, Fiend's Grip's another, and then you have some nice stunts coming out of Storm coupled with an Ul's Scepter of Divinity. And not to mention Sheepstick on Puck, it seems very difficult to actually take the fights that you want and really throw out the deeps in a, you know, a structured way.
Come on, I want to see some refreshes.
It looks like Mongolz, though.
Beastmaster, he's not going for it.
Not quite aware
no.
of this Roche fight, maybe getting a little bit too slow into it, and now if they want to take this fight, that is not at all what you want to do. Looks like Storm knows it's there, and Kipo once again doing this, catching out almost the entire team. It looks like once again Masquerade going in there. Seeing if he can't do it, has indeed snatched that Aegis, so a very nice thing there. No Naga Siren ult now, he is buying a lot of times. Why are they going that way? It seems a little bit odd. Could have gotten way more kills if they had gone for the actual meat and potatoes of this team. I suppose they do get a Naga Siren, but I mean, big whoop when it comes right down to it. He can't buy back, however, so with that Naga Siren ult down, they can try and go in and push, also knowing that the Aegis is not available for them. Who has the cheese, though? Oh, it's on TA, alright.
Templar, yep. Oh, no, Masquerade in big trouble.
Oh,
He's
eats the
arrow.
full range arrow. Can't blink out of this one. Is a pig. Getting those EMP'd. So, I mean, what little advantage you thought that Mongolz had now pretty much stripped away from them in knowing that that he is caught out. And, I mean, Mongolz, you do not want to try and turn around here. You have Panthers right here with Senior Hydra, of course. They have too much CC to deal with. Arrow flies, doesn't quite land on the Paxa, so he's doing A-okay. He is incredibly close to finishing off that Rapier, however. It doesn't have an Aegis to protect it by any means, but I mean, once he does get that, these things should be pretty scary. But I don't know, when the dust settles, you traded a Naga Siren for a Beastmaster. It seems like a little bit of a misplay from Mongolz to just chase him down with 3, maybe send 1 after him, make sure he can't do anything, but then, you know, hunker down, send everybody else into the Roche pit and try and take down more than just one hero.
Yeah, I mean, without the Aegis, Gyrocopter, he has to save for new BKB as well, otherwise he won't be able to sustain. There's too much lockdown from Panthers. At this rate, he has to just farm, continually farm. He cannot afford Aegis. I mean, he cannot afford the Divine Rapier right now. He has to be patient. Either a new BKB or wait for the next Aegis. And I don't know if TJ is gonna man up and say, oh, no. It's only a Scotty. I was hoping TJ would be like, yeah, I'll go for a Divine Rapier as well. But Scotty, a great item. It's gonna be, it goes through BKB, so it's gonna be fairly useful in terms of team fighting. He already has the damage. Now he's gonna have the HP on top. It's gonna be like a 3k plus HP Templar Assassin, so that's always something to look forward to for the Panthers. But now that Beastmaster is gonna have the Assault Cuirass for his team, that's a little bit more armor, so that's good. And Puck, if he gets the Shivas on top, then the team fight would be very, very complete in dealing with what Panther has to offer.
Yeah, I'm just now trying to basically think of what Nelly and Storm can get, because they're basically the only heroes with empty slots available now. And I mean, I think Storm's got the right idea. He's got an Ulz, and I suppose you just try and get a Sheepstick in whatever amount of time you can get him.
Nelly, all he needs is that BKB, to be honest. He just needs to be able to hold down the Fiend's Grip on somebody. But it'd be great if they start getting, say, I don't know, they can head towards Sheepstick. That's always great. At this stage, Necrobook has kind of fallen out, but just thinking. I'm thinking as much as you are, but Nelly, he's not gonna have the chance to get the big items. Maybe just hold out and wait for the Boots of Travels. That would be awesome. Like the Boots of Travels and then 5-man. Come on, I just want to see that 5-man epic TP strat that I've been trying to trying to get people to do. Yeah. So I'm glad Paxa is still holding on to his gold, knowing that this isn't the